Hello and welcome to Sarah's Stamping Retreat. Today we're going to be talking about making the most of seasonal dies so that you can use them year round. So I was kindly sent these dies from Spellbinders. So we've got the Dancing Girl Day of the Dead that's got the flowers and the maracas, and then we've got this Dancing Boy Day of the Dead that's got the guitar. I thought it'd be nice to show some different ways of using the dies so that you can use them in the way they're intended. So the first card that we're going to do is just that. And then I've got another 2 cards for you showing you how to use the accessories to make cards that you can use all the year round, because I think then you get more out of your investment. So first we're going to be using the Dancing Girl to make a card, and I've got a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card blank, pink one, and then I've cut this. This is this Stitch Argyle die. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I'll link it in the description below. And it's obviously supposed to be a stitching die, and I'll link below to a video where I used it, where I did do the stitching on it, but actually I've used it a lot as just a normal background because I think it's so pretty even without the stitching. And even though it's absolutely gorgeous with the stitching, I don't want to stitch on every card. And I think it's really pretty, especially because it shows through some of those dots of the colour behind. So I've cut that down. The actual die covers a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card blank, but I've cut it down so that it's 1/2 inch smaller because I want a border around the outside. So I'm just going to glue that onto my card blank. Now I'll just hold that down with my acrylic block a second, and you can see that I've cut all the pieces here, and I've cut a few of them a few times. So I'm going to start with this face, and I've cut it out of the white first, and it's really cool because it kind of slots into that hair so that the top comes over the front of the face and gives it lots more dimension. So I'm just going to add a bit of glue to the back of that. And then obviously because I've cut the hair in the black, that's also going to show through to the eyes, so that the eyes become black as well. But I don't really want all of the details on the face to be black, so I've cut it again in the orange and the pink. So then I can just kind of push those pieces out. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue through here. And then I'm going to pop that in there. I'm going to pop those through as well. I'm going to pop in a little nose. And then I've also got these lips, so I can place that over this smile. So there's her face done. And then she's got this little bun to go on the top of her hair as well. So I'm going to pop that behind there. And then I can start building up her body onto this bit. So this bit is the bit that is going to make the dress sway from side to side. So I can build up the dress on there. So I've cut the dress in pink and blue, and it's really obvious where to put it because the parts of the dress line up with the parts of the white on here. And then I can just pop this under here. And this can go underneath the top skirt. And then there's these little frills that I've cut in pink as well. And it's really nice because a lot of these dies are kind of grouped together, so you know exactly what to cut out. So for example, different bits of the dress are grouped together so that you can cut them out together. And then I'm going to glue on the hands and the feet. And then there's also these little maracas. So then I can just glue those into the hands. So then all that's left to do is to construct her on the card. So I'm just going to place her where I want her to be. I think about there looks about right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place, I've just die cut this from a normal foam pad with a small circle die. That's from my layering die set. But if you've got foam pads that are already round, obviously you could use those. You just need one that fits easily within the centre of the circle. And so then you want to put that in there, so that this is going to go on top. And we can peel off the other side. And then I'm going to pop that on there. And then she's going to dance from side to side like that. So then I just want a sentiment. Oh, I forgot her little belt as well. So then I'm going to use this Envelope of Wonder Sentiment stamp set. And this is a really nice one because it's got things from all year round. So you've got everything from sending good thoughts your way, hope this night finds you well, Christmas wishes enclosed, Mr. and Mrs, sending birthday wishes, all sorts of things all around the year. I'm going to use this to my favourite ghoul. So I'm going to heat emboss that in this blue cardstock. And I'm going to use this opaque bright white superfine embossing powder from Wow. I do say it a lot, but you do need to make sure that you use superfine embossing powder if you're doing fine sentiments like that, otherwise you just won't be able to read it. Some of the powders that have coarser grains are nice for other things, but not for when you need to do fine details. So I'm going to cut that down. So then I also wanted to show you that I'm going to do some partial die cutting. So you can see I've used this, which is one of the modern oval dies from Spellbinders. And quite honestly, I can't say enough about this die set. I use it so much because it's got these smaller ones that are perfect for your sentiments, all the way up to these huge ones which are good for like your shaped cards and things. So I've been using this loads recently, but I've cut it out, but I want it to be shorter, so now I'm going to run it back through my die cutting machine like this, so that it rounds off that end as well, but it's not as long as the entire tab. And so now I've got this shorter piece, which is better for my sentiment. So I need to make sure that this isn't going to hit it when it swings. I'm actually just going to move my dancing lady up a little bit, because then it gives me a bit more room for my sentiment. And I'm going to pop that up on some foam pads. And that can sit there. And she's still got room to move. And then I'll maybe add a little one of the flowers in her hair as well. So then that's that card finished. And I think it's really cute with a little dancing element. Makes it really interactive. So then for this next card, I am going to use the guitar die from the Dancing Boy. But before we get round to the guitars, I want to create a happy birthday sentiment strip. And I'm going to use this stylized happy birthday die from Spellbinders. It's an older one that I bought quite a while ago, but I believe it's still available. I'll link it below. And I'm just going to use the detail element for this one. So I've just cut out that internal happy birthday, and I'm just going to pop that onto this strip of blue cardstock. And I'm actually going to use this, and I'm not going to put it right up against the end because I'll need to cut a bit of that off. So I'm just going to kind of place it on. So then for this card, I've got a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch blue card blank, and this is Blueberry Bushel from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to cover this with this, which is the same cover die that I used for the last one, that stitching cover die. And like you can see, when you don't cut it down, it covers the whole front. And I just love the little added detail that it gives without kind of being really in your face. So then I'm going to glue this across the card. And then I'm going to trim the ends off. And then I've got all of these colourful guitars that I cut out that I'm going to just kind of like lay in lines around the sentiment. So then we've got all of our guitars on. Now I'm just going to trim off the excess. Now we've got quite a cool card that I think is perfect for music lovers or teenagers or anyone like that. But we just use the accessories of what is a seasonal set. So then for my final card, I've got another blue 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card blank. I've got that same background again, but in white. So I'm going to glue that on. And then I've used that same happy birthday sentiment as we used for the last one, but this time I've used the background piece as well. So I'm going to glue that onto the background. And then I've got all of these gorgeous little flowers and leaves from the girl Dancin Halloween. And I'm just going to grab some glue dots and dot them all around. So then we've got this really pretty birthday card using that little flower and leaves from the Dancin Halloween girl. And so then we've got these 3 really cool cards, one using the die as it was intended to be used, and the 2 birthday cards. And I think it just shows the versatility of these dies, and it's really nice just to have a look at different dies that you have in your collection and see how you can use them in ways that they perhaps weren't intended to be used. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please let me know in the comments below which is your favourite card. If you did enjoy today's video, I'd really appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, then YouTube will also notify you when I have a new video available. All of the products that I've used for today's cards are listed in the description below. You can also find a link there to my blog where you can find a picture supply list if that helps you find what you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.